Hello and welcome to the beginning of a brand new challenge. A challenge that takes place in the beautiful game of Red Dead Redemption 2. The challenge? Get every single gold medal in Red Dead Redemption 2. Now, how I came across this challenge was that I was looking through the achievements of Red Dead Redemption 2 because I was looking for an achievement in a game that I own that was very rare. And this game has an achievement. One of the two most rare achievements in the game is to get it 70 gold medals in story missions. So what I decided to do, because I'm smart, is I was like, well, if I get 70, I may as well just get all of them. So we're going to get all of them. Now, it's not going to happen in this video because it takes too long. But if you want to see all of it, please subscribe and like the video and enjoy this video. Chapter 1, Mission 1. We start this journey in the middle of a snowstorm, where we find a very cold vandal gang, where we meet Dutch and Jose. They are on the run and need a place to lie low. Dutch mentions he has sent Arthur out looking, and that is when we meet him. Arthur Morgan, the main guy. Damn, what a hunk. He then tells the group he has found a small mining camp just up the way. The group decides it's better than dying and proceeding to set up camp. But unfortunately, one member wasn't lucky enough to survive. Arthur and Dutch then go out to find Mike. And after not too long, they find him in the storm. He proceeds to tell them he's found a small homestead, but that it may not be completely empty. Dutch, Arthur, and Mike then head to the homestead, where they find that some of the O'Driscoll boys have moved into the house already, killing one of the previous residents and trapping the other downstairs. Dutch then proceeds to knock on the door, where a shootout follows. After everyone's dead, we move in. The boys loot the house and find the residents trapped downstairs. After she calms down, the boys take her back to camp and the chapter ends. But not before I complete a couple challenges, because that's the point of this video. First, I had to take no damage during the shootout between Arthur and the O'Driscolls and the gang. Second, we had to loot 6 or more items from the house. And last but not least, we have to get at least 80% accuracy, which definitely wasn't hard to do. I can't aim to save my life. Mission 2. In this mission, Arthur and Javier are assigned to the task of finding John. That's John Marston, if you know who that is. If you don't know who that is, you'll find out. John, although he was sent for to find shelter like Micah, he got lost and has not yet returned. So you and Javier set out to find John Marston. After riding in the snow for some time, you come across a dead end, which is about as dead as the horse on the ground, which is John's horse. After Javier shoots the clouds, you hear John calling out in pain. You dismount and venture forth along the treacherous path, shuffling along cliff edges and drinking whiskey, eventually finding the other one called John. He, instead of finding a house like Micah, found a hungry pack of wolves. Said wolves had already taken a bite out of his shoulder and leg, making him unable to walk. After carrying him back to the horses, you spy wolves coming down the hill. But you are Arthur Morgan, which means you have a shotgun, which means you can easily kill some stupid wolves. So you shoot them. Then you start riding. But it would seem that word spread slowly in the wolf community because the next lot of wolves hadn't heard of Arthur Morgan yet. But after a couple of lethal gunshots, they could. Then you continue on to the camp where you are greeted by the gang, ending the mission. Challenges for that one? I had to kill all the wolves without taking damage, and complete with at least 80% accuracy. Mission 3. In this next one, we get to go pay a visit to our good friend, Colm O'Driscoll. The boys are getting a bit rowdy, and Dutch comes to smooth out, or rather tell off, the stupid boys, and drag them outside to go hunt down Colm O'Driscoll, who is the leader of the O'Driscoll gang, who killed Dutch's sister. If you remember that guy we beat up in the first mission, which you won't, because I didn't mention him in the first mission, well, between me punching him in the face continuously, he did happen to spill some information on the location of Colm's camp. So using these coordinates, we head to the O'Driscoll camp. We pull up on top of the hill, peer down, and see that they don't stand a chance. You and Dutch sneak down the hill, get ready, and shoot. After shooting a large number of bullets, we proceed to loot our kill. While looting, more O'Driscolls come up from behind. We shoot them, because you don't sneak. sneak up on Arthur Morgan. Then, we continue looting, collecting some dynamite, plans, and a prisoner, arriving back at camp, ending the mission. The challenges were to catch the prisoner within 45 seconds of finding him, get 15 headshots, complete the mission within 15 minutes, 30 seconds, which is a long time, complete the mission without using health items, and last but not least, kill 3 O'Driscolls in the same dead eye. Mission 4. Damn, baby! Mr. Foodman, Pearson, I believe his name is, claims there is no food in the hills. Naturally, we need to prove him wrong. And also, eat. So, with the help of a child, we venture into the woods. After a short while, you come across a deer. You shoot it. You shoot it. Being completely honest, I missed, and there's a challenge on this mission to kill both deer without missing, and I missed both times. But don't worry, I previously completed this mission, but lost the recording. Anyways, moving on. After killing both bears, you take them back to the camp, where you help Pearson skin them, and the mission ends. The challenges being as you know. Kill each deer with 1 arrow, and also don't spook the deer, and get a clean kill on the second deer. Mission 5. Now, do you remember before, when we stole the dynamite and plans? But those plans were to rob a train owned by a Mr. Cornwall. He'll be important later. And said train has money in the form of bonds, money which we need. So Dutch assembles the squad and we set off. Now Bill, who's just a guy at the camp, don't worry about Bill. Bill was sent ahead to set the dynamite, which is what he is still doing when we arrive. Dutch then sends you down to help. He claims initially that he needs no help. Later, considering and asking you to roll out the fuse and connect it to a plunger. A plunger being the handle thing used to ignite dynamite. After that, you ride back to Dutch and wait for the train. Rounds the corner as it approaches. Bill hits the fuse, but nothing happens. Bill's an idiot or something, I don't know. Quickly realizing it's broken or something, Arthur, Javier, and Lenny dismount and jump onto the train as it comes through the tunnel. Once on the train, Arthur completes the first mission and objective by helping Lenny back up on board the train. The two of them then proceed to kill everyone on the train. Once at the engine, Arthur manages to stop the train, and then the shootout ends. Now, 3 objectives are in play in this part, one of which is also doable on the train. The first is to get 10 headshots, which any of the headshots on the train also count. Then, you've got to take out everyone in the shootout. About 1.5 minutes, which is kind of difficult if you include the next mission, which is third one. You have to do it, which makes it more difficult to go fast because it's easy to get hit. So, you gotta let the AI do a lot of the work. So, naturally this took me about 2 hours or something. After that, there was a little business to attend to. A small group of rather diligent individuals had set up camp in the rear of the carriage. So naturally, we blew open the door and held them at gunpoint till we found what we came for. The bonds. If you don't know what bonds are what are bonds? A bond is a contract between an investor and a borrower that represents a loan from the investor to the borrower. The borrower uses the money to fund its operations and the investor receives interest on the investment. And apparently we can sell these bonds. I don't know if that's the same type of bonds. Ignore that if that's not right. Anyways, the bonds are located in a lockbox in the right cupboard at the back of the train. Once these were retrieved, we put the prisoners back onto the train and sent it on its way, ending the mission. Also, there is one more objective, which is to complete the mission without using any hailing items. Mission 6, the final mission of the chapter. And last time I lived in the snow. Well, in this game. Because it's time to move. The gang has decided to move to a spot known as Horseshoe Overlook, located on an overlook near a small livestock town called Valentine. So off we go on our grand adventure, round the corner to the new campsite. Along the way, we travel through a small stream and a tragedy strikes as one of the wheels comes off. Fortunately, it's pretty easy to put back on. maybe even concerningly so. And with the help of Charles, we are back on our way. As we enter the Overlook, however, we have an objective to do and a pickup to make. We pick up Javier as we enter the path to the camp. We then enter the camp, arriving in under 6 minutes, completing the second of 2 objectives, and ending the first chapter. Chapter 2, Mission 1. Arthur and Uncle decide to head into town, but as they are about to leave, Karen and 2 of the other girls ask if they can come along too. Arthur accepts, and they all head into town. On the way, they see a stranger lose control of his horses and crash his wagon. You stop, get down from the wagon, and retrieve one of the stranger's horses. He thanks you for your help, and you continue on your way. Entering Valentine, you stop the wagon by the stables. The girls then head to do whatever they came to do, while you and Uncle go shopping. After Uncle buys a couple things, you go outside, sit down, and wait for the others to return. After a while, Mary Beth does return. She snuck into a rich house. While inside, she overheard some people talking about a train. Said train is heading to New York, which would pass through a remote place, making it easy to rob the train. Arthur then asks where Karen and Tilly have ended up, and Mary Beth says they were trying to rob some drunk guys. Arthur decides, as the noble man he is, to go looking for them. As he does, he sees Tilly being pulled behind a building by some man. He quickly crosses the road to find Tilly wrestling with a man. You confront him, and after threatening him, he decides to leave. And then you head into the hotel, which is the last place you saw Karen. Heading upstairs, you hear noise coming from one of the rooms. You kick down the door to find a man standing over Karen. She had been trying to play him, but it had gone so well. Not gone so well, actually. Arthur then proceeds to punch the guy, knocking him out. You then leave the hotel with Karen. After joining the others, a strange man rides up. He accuses Arthur of being Blackwater, which is where the gang had been running from after a job went sideways in Blackwater and the law had got involved. Arthur, not wanting the guy to report him, takes a stranger's horse and chases the guy. The man then proceeds to ride off the cliff. Barely holding on, he begs Arthur to help him, giving me the choice of killing him or not. I let him live, but not before Arthur gives the guy a strong warning to never speak of him in Blackwater ever again. Ending the chapter. Of course, as usual, objectives were completed. Firstly was to return the stolen horse back to its owner, and second was to find Karen within 45 seconds. Mission 2. We return to the fine town of Valentine, where Javier and Charles are getting a drink with some woman. Arthur joins them, and after a short conversation, they decide to leave. Then Bill enters, and as he does, he bumps into someone who shoves him. He, upset, shoves them back into a table, starting a bar fight. The gang almost have things under control when a new challenger enters the ring. A guy called Tommy. This guy is rather large and very drunk. He immediately grabs Javier while another guy grabs Arthur. One of the objectives in this mission is to save Javier from Tommy in 15 seconds. So I quickly broke free, knocked the guy out, and went to help Javier. Entering into the second objective. Defeat Tommy in 1.5 minutes. Or in under 1.5. So I punch him, he throws me through a window. So I punch him again, he slams me on the ground. I punch him again, he falls on the ground. I pin him down and begin my final attack. Just as I was about to finish him off, however, some dude steps in the way and stops the fight. Like, boring. As Arthur begins to walk away from the fight, he hears a familiar voice. Josiah Trelawney. Dutch found him somewhere, and as the whole gang reunite, he tells them about Sean. Or more specifically, that he knows where Sean is and how to save him. Who's Sean, you might be asking? Just shut up, I'll tell you when it's important. Okay, it's not, you'll find out later. Don't worry about it. The group all head off in different directions, like you should. That doesn't even know what that means. Anyways, at the end of the mission. Mission number 3. We begin in the camp. Hosea asks Arthur if he wants to go hunting, and after agreeing, they set out. On the way though, they make a stop in Valentine. Arthur sells his big farm horse that he stole from someone and buys a much better horse. And Hosea buys some stuff from the general store. After shopping, the pair head into the woods to find an extremely large bear. The sun quickly sets and the pair have to camp the night. The next day they set out, quickly picking up a trail. But after following some footsteps, the tracks just disappear. So they lay some bait, hide behind a rock and wait. Because that's how you catch a bear, apparently. After a short moment, Hosea decides to check the bait. because he wants to make sure they do it right. Arthur follows him. Then, while they're both investigating the bear comes out of nowhere. Jose retreats as the bear attacks Arthur, slashes him, and he stabs it. Getting out from underneath the bear, Arthur shoots it 6 more times, and then decides to flee, and you go and talk to Hosea. It being the bear. Jose then admits he's a bit old to be hunting a bear, and then gives you a map he stole from a guy at a bar, a map showing legendary beasts findable in the game. He then gives you the choice of riding back to camp with him, or staying and finishing off the bear, ending the mission. Objectives in this one were to finish it in 12 minutes, shoot the bear at least 6 times, and track the bear down within a minute and 30 seconds. Mission 4. You remember that guy in chapter 1 that we captured in that mission when we found the dynamite and stuff? Well, he's been in camp the whole time, tied to a tree. His name, Karen Duffy. And today is a bad day for him, because today Dutch wants to know where Combe is. And after some persuasion, he obliges. He leads the boys to the camp and towards the first of 4 objectives for this mission, which is to kill 4 Driscolls silently. You shoot up the camp. While doing that, I completed 3 more missions objectives. First one was to get 12 headshots. The second was to complete the mission with 80% accuracy, both of which are easy, because I'm just, And the final one is to complete the mission without using health items, which is just quite a repetitive mission in this game. We then venture to the back of the camp where a log cabin stands, a cabin which Arthur assumes Combe is hiding inside of. As Arthur approaches the door, he gets a bit of a surprise. The door busts open and a guy pushes him onto the ground, but not Combe, just a random Driscoll guy who puts a gun to his head just as the guy's about to kill Arthur and end the entire game. Karen, the savior, shoots the guy in the face, and Arthur lives another day. He then threatens Karen, assuming that he has misled them, but he decides and realizes Karen hasn't, otherwise Karen wouldn't have saved his life. Then, Mission 5. Back in camp, it's a nice day when all of a sudden Lenny rides in saying Micah has been captured in Strawberry. He and Micah were doing something there when things went south. After he catches his breath, Dutch tells Arthur to go get a drink with the boy to clear his head, and also, after that, go and get Micah out of jail. So you head into Valentine, walk into the bar and order some drinks. A guy comes over and starts being annoying, and you politely brush him off. You buy more drinks, and some more drinks, and some more drinks. All of a sudden, Lenny's gone. So you go find Lenny upstairs, balancing his glass in his face. He drops it, then you drink some more. Then Lenny fights some guys, then you dance, then you piss, and Lenny vanishes again. But kinda doesn't, because now everybody kinda looks like Lenny. So you start looking for him. You ask this guy, but that's not Lenny. That's Tommy from the fight. So you head upstairs and check the bedroom. But no Lenny, just some people doing something I can't show on YouTube. Then, from behind you, Lenny grabs you. You slap him. He slaps you. You trade slaps again. You drink. Then the annoying guy comes back. You drown him in the horse trough. The police there are chasing you, but you're Arthur Morgan, fastest drunk man in the West, so you get away. Mission complete. Mission 6. Now Dutch said we also need to save Micah, so I guess we should do that. We arrive at the Strawberry Sheriff's Office to inquire about an accident with some Driscolls. The sheriff says that he's not sure who either of the 2 men in his jail are, but Arthur can take a look when they hang him. So you leave the sheriff's office and walk to the jail that's just below to have a little chat with our good friend, Micah. See, Arthur ain't sure he wants to save Micah, and in all truth, he ain't sure how exactly to do that either. Micah begs him, so he decides to help, and after some inspection, he finds an iron horse, whatever that is, and he hooks it to the bars, cranks it, pulls the bars off the rail, off the jail, breaks the wall. Once free, Arthur gives Micah a gun, probably against his better decision, and prepares to leave Strawberry. But Micah has different plans. He starts shooting up the whole town while heading to the far side of Strawberry to get something, and not just anything. His 2 guns. His very precious 2 guns. After retrieving them, you ride away, quickly escaping the war. While escaping, killing all riders, completing that mission. After that, Arthur and Micah talk, and Micah decides it's best if he has a peace offering before he goes back to camp. They then go their own ways, ending the mission. The other objectives for this mission were to get 15 headshots, get 70% accuracy, and complete the mission without using health items. Chapter 7. Now, back to what we were doing before Micah got himself arrested. Time to save Sean. I actually spelled it right this time. But first, we have some people to kill. These two in the water for starters. Trelawney distracts them while Javier and Arthur cut their throats. Once you round the corner, a shootout will ensue. Although I like to try and sneak my way up the side to get closer. During the shootout, we need to get 10 headshots and use no rifles. We also need to move up the hill into their camp to free Sean. Once every last man is dead, we shoot the rope and free Sean, who is hanging upside down on a tree. This is Sean. He is an Irishman who talks a lot and doesn't do much else. Arthur then sends Sean and friends on their way back to camp, while he stays back to loot, ending the mission. Mission 8. Now this one's a bit different. This ain't your average shootin' tootin' mission. This one's a bit more civil, you could say. You find Reverend Swanson playing some poker, Texas Hold'em, with some guys, although the Reverend is rather drunk. So drunk, in fact, that he passes out. So the man asks you to play in his place. You say yes and play a couple hands of poker. 2 hands to be exact, winning both, because it's an objective in this mission. Then once you decide you've played enough poker, Arthur makes the observation that Reverend Swanson is no longer passed out on the floor. He's gone. So you go looking for him. You find him fighting a farmer, so you knock out the farmer. But there's a witness, so you chase down the witness, you threaten him, you shove him, and then leave him be, knowing with his mind that you won't tell nobody what happened. You head back to find the Reverend. He is gone. So you go hunting for him again. This time you find him on a train track. Well, the train track's on the bridge and there's a train coming. But as you go to get him off the tracks, his foot gets stuck in the tracks. You frantically pull and just free his foot, pulling him off the track. You then put him on the back of your horse. Well, he passes out from drinking too much alcohol. Then you put him on the back of his horse, your horse, not his horse, and return to camp. For the gold medal objectives, you have to return in under 2 minutes 5 seconds. Once back, you put him in his tent, ending mission. Mission number 9. This mission begins Arthur's bounty hunting career. He goes into Valentine's sheriff's office. The sheriff asks him if he wants to hunt a bounty. Arthur accepts, and you head off to the gorge to find Benedict Albright, a self-proclaimed healer who has been poisoning people with his medicine. You arrive at the gorge to find a man camping along the path. You stop and ask the man if he is Mr. Albright. The man claims he isn't. Arthur then explains he is looking for Mr. Albright to purchase medicine for his mother. The man then realizes Arthur's not here to hunt him, so he shows him some of the medicine. For he is Benedict Albright, the great healer. As he is about to sell Arthur the medicine, Arthur throws it away and draws his gun. The man then jumps from the cliff, but Arthur catches him. You pull him back up, and then he jumps up again. So you chase him down the river. You catch up and lasso him and put him out of the water. Once on dry land, you hog tie him, completing an objective to catch and hog time in under 1 minute 15 seconds. You throw him on the back of your horse and return to the sheriff's office in less than 1 minute 50 seconds to complete the final objective of the mission. Once he has been dropped in his cell, you leave, ending the mission. Chapter 10. Mission 10, sorry, not chapter 10. Meet Strauss, a man who is good at a lot of things, one of which is lending people money they can't afford to pay back. He gives out a number of loans, which have a collection of quests. 3 in total, where you have to go and collect money from the unfortunate people he has given loans. Although I only had to complete the final part for this mission, because the other 2 parts don't have objectives, so you don't have to do them again ever, which is fantastic, because I don't like these missions, because they make me feel terrible for begging people to give me their freaking money. This one's not that much better. And the final part of this mission involves the unfortunate Mr. Thomas Downs, a farmer you might recognize from the bar fight. He was the guy who stepped in to stop the fight, but today he will be the one getting punched, and no one will be there to stop him. The only objective in this mission is to complete the mission in under 2 minutes 10 seconds, which means you need to go beat up Thomas while his family watch, and ride back to the camp in 2 minutes 10 seconds, which sounds easy, but I did kind of leave out some of the bits that you do have to do, which add a bit of time, and it's harder than you think. But I did it because I had to eventually. Moving on. Mission 11. We begin this mission outside a barn. Jose is waiting there for Arthur. He has found a guy who is willing to buy wagons that may or may not have been stolen. He's going to be essentially a wagon fence. A fence is something you can sell illegal stuff to. In this case, you can sell stolen wagons. Although, he doesn't just trust anyone and wants to test Arthur and Hosea before he opens up his fence. So he sends them out to steal a wagon from his cousin. So you and Hosea head off. You pull up to the house and Hosea offers you two options. Option 1, sneak in during the day while Hosea distracts the farmers. Faster but more risky. Or option 2, wait till nighttime and sneak in while the farmers sleep. I pick option 1 because it's quicker and I know I ain't gonna get caught. So Hosea heads towards the door while I begin to sneak around the side. Once he has the head of the house distracted, I slip inside and begin looting. I have an objective to loot everything from this house, which is one objective I found very, very, very annoying. I mean, there's one item. This bottle. The thing is, it won't show up as a thing you can loot unless you have space to pick another one up. And if you're replaying the missions, you don't realize that you're holding maximum of something, and so you don't realize that you can even pick it up. So you don't even care to try and remove the amounts that you have in your inventory, so then you end up just having it sitting there, and it's great. I don't know why I'm even looking at the script, because I'm not even reading the script. I'm freestyling my brain. Once the entire house is empty, anything valuable, you sneak out the back door again, heading around the barn. Inside is a running wagon. You climb on, waiting for Hosea, and then leave. Now we have yet another objective. This one is a bit different, though. We need to get back to Emerald Ranch, the place where the guy is, in a minute and 10 seconds or less. To do this, we need to ignore the paths and any kind of models and take a bit more direct route, cutting straight through all the fields, riding straight through a stream, and stopping right outside the barn. Completing the final objective, and also the mission. Mission 12. This next mission, like the money one earlier, is the final part of a 3-piece mission. In the first part, Arthur gets a letter from a girl called Mary, who he was once in a relationship with. She asked to see Arthur again. In the second part of this mission, Arthur heads to Mary's house where she tells him about how her brother has joined the Colonians, a religious cult, and she asks Arthur to go and get him. You are then presented with a choice of helping her or not. If you agree, then you are told where to find the cult and you head off. This is part 3. You find the Colonians on top of a hill. They all huddle into a formation of safety. Arthur then tells Mary's brother Jamie that his sister is worried about him and wants him to come home. The teacher and leader of the group says he has chosen a path and won't let him leave, and then asks Arthur some questions. Here is the first objective, which is to peacefully negotiate the release of Jamie. However, Jamie refuses after you negotiate the release of him, running to his horse and taking off. Arthur mounts and follows, chasing him down. Chasing him for a while, you get split up by a train. Both dismount, and Jamie goes on about how he is a man and how he has found a calling. However, Arthur doesn't agree and tells him he's making a big mistake. Jamie then threatens Arthur by shooting a gun in the air, scaring away his own horse, and then he puts the gun to his head. Things get serious. You are then thrown into Deadeye, where you have to shoot away the gun to save Jamie's life, otherwise you mess up the mission. I did do that accidentally. I missed. Jamie agrees to go see his sister, and you head to the train station. The second objective is to get to the train station in less than 2 minutes. Once you successfully do that, Jamie reunites with his sister. They get on the train and leave, ending the mission. Mission 13. You talk to John. He tells you about the train heist Uncle told him about, the train that Mary Beth was talking about in the first mission of this chapter. John has a plan to cover the train tracks in oil and asks you to steal an oil tank in full. So that's what you do. You shoot up all the guards, mount the wagon, and proceed to escape. The only objective here is to return the wagon to John in less than a minute 45. You park the wagon, and the mission ends. Mission 14. Abigail, John Marsden's wife, asks Arthur to take Jack, Abigail, and John's child fishing. Arthur unwillingly agrees, and you take Jack and head to the river nearby to go fishing. The first objective in this mission is to catch a fish within a minute 30 seconds of arriving at the river, so I caught at least one fish within the time. After fishing for a while, Jack asks if he can go and make something. Arthur lets him, and he walks off a little way to make a flower necklace for his mother. While he is making said necklace, some people show up to talk to Arthur, and not just anyone. Pinkertons, The Pinkertons are a private detective and security agency and the people that have been assigned to the task of hunting down the Van der Linde gang, or more specifically, Dutch. The leader of these two men, Agent Milton, offers Arthur a deal. Turn Dutch in, and he's a walking free man, with no death to his name. The two men, after some argument, leave. Arthur tells Jack it's time to go, and they head back to camp. Once back at camp, Arthur tells Dutch about what happened. Dutch decides the gang doesn't need to do anything just yet, and the mission ends. The final objective for that one being to complete the whole mission in 7 minutes 20 seconds. Mission 15. Time to rob another train. John, Arthur, Sean, and Charles head off on the oil wagon that we stole in Mission 13. You park the wagon on the train tracks and wait. The train rounds the corner, coming to a screeching stop in front of the oil barrel. The gang proceeds to take out the guards and you begin to rob the passengers. John walks in front of you with a bag collecting money from the passengers. If they don't want to give any money, you punch them until they do. Once you have robbed the first carriage, John tells you to go check on Sean and he will loot the rest of the passengers. You go and help Sean, because you're a nice person. You follow him as he moves down the train, and as he opens the first carriage door, a few people emerge. You kill them before they can fire a shot, which is a bit more difficult when your keyboard is glitching and constantly opening the Steam overlay. You kill them all. Once you do, you complete the first of 4 missions for this objective. You enter the baggage car, looting the entire thing, again completing an objective. By this point, the law is caught up with the train, and several riders emerge from the trees. A shootout begins. A few more objectives are completed. The first is to get 10 kills in Dead Eye. The second is to not use, that's also doable on the train previously with other enemies. The second is to not use any health items. After killing most of them, you mount your horse and run, escaping the law in less than 1 minute 30 seconds, completing the final objective and ending the mission. Mission 16. After robbing the train, John has another idea of how to make some more cash. Valentine is a livestock town, meaning that they sell animals like sheep. He noticed that there was a herd of sheep not too far away from the town, so after getting you by a sniper, he takes you to the top of a hill where you fire a couple warning shots to scare the cowboys away that are guarding the sheep. You head down the hill and herd all the sheep that scattered back together. You herd them into the town and into the pen to sell them. However, the auctioneer is smart enough to know they don't own the sheep. He offers you to take 25% of the cut in exchange for saying nothing. Because sheep rustling is punishable by death, like most crimes in this city. John doesn't want to take 25%. John bargains it down to 18%, and they leave happy men. After a long, hard day of sheep rustling, they head to the bar to grab a drink with Dutch. While they're there, however, a man calls Dutch's name. The man is Leviticus Cornwall, the owner of the first train the gang robbed. He is also a very rich and powerful businessman who owns many different things, including a lot of oil things, train things, just a lot of stuff. He wants to show Dutch he ain't a man to be trifled with, and threatens to kill John and Strauss, who he captured while Dutch and Arthur were having a drink. Dutch and Arthur come out with hands raised, Dutch rambling on, claiming it is all a mistake as Arthur gets ready to shoot. Arthur shoots the men holding John, and Strauss and the gang proceed to shoot their way out of Valentine, but not before Strauss receives a bullet to the leg. They manage, however, to escape to freedom. The objectives of this mission were to get 25 headshots, herd all the sheep into the pen, complete with at least 70% accuracy, and complete the mission without using any healing items. Mission 17. Second to last mission of the chapter, and this one is a bit annoying. Micah, as he said after shooting up Strawberry, needed a peace offering, and he found one. There's a bank coach transporting money heading to Strawberry, and he wants your help robbing it. And the mission ain't the bit here that's hard, it's the objectives, because the objectives on this one is to headshot every rider protecting the coach. Difficult to do before he kills any of them, and also you gotta do it while riding a horse, which isn't exactly easy. And objective 2, to complete the whole mission in 6 minutes, meaning you don't have much time to line up your shots to get all the headshots. Once every person joining and riding the coach is dead, you head to ride it back to camp naturally. While on your way back to camp, however, you get ambushed and robbed by some Driscolls and a shootout follows, where you need to complete the other 2 objectives. 1, get 10 Deadeye kills. 2, complete without taking any health items. 3, doesn't exist. Once every O'Driscoll is dead, Arthur shoots open the lockbox in the back of the coach. Inside is a smaller box containing a good amount of cash. Arthur splits the cuts, after which Mike heads off back to camp to make amends with Dutch. Ending mission. Mission 18. The final mission of the chapter. Dutch has been looking for a place to move the camp, and having found a spot on an old dried up creek, he sends you and Charles out to inspect it and clear anyone off that's there. Once Charles and Arthur arrive, they find a dead body and a camp. After looking around the camp for a while, they find a mother and 2 children. However, none of them speak very much English. They do, however, manage to communicate that their father has been taken by some gang. Charles and Arthur go out looking for the father and find him tied up by a tree in an area much better suited for a camp than the other spot. He tries to warn them about something. All of a sudden, they're surrounded by men. They shoot them all, completing 3 objectives. 1, 5 headshots. 2, get 80% accuracy. And 3, which does exist this time, get... where is it? Complete without taking any health items. And then bring the father home, completing the final objective of the mission. The family gives Arthur some gold, and the family leaves. Later, Dutch and the rest of the gang ride into the new camping spot, which is the spot where they found the guy tied to the tree, which is a much better spot than the other spot, ending the mission and the chapter.